All right, good times. Everybody's here. So
Yeah.
we're here. Who are we? So we got Flip is here with us.
Greetings.
And right, right. The first time you're probably seeing him on this doc,
Yes.
and we'll get to that in a second. And then my weeknights co-host Dashing D joined us to kind of be a mediator and
Yes.
help us dig a little deeper here.
Yeah, happy to be here.
So
Hmm.
yeah, and you know me, I'm JD. Yeah, know me by now. Um, so we decided, me and Flip were talking, and this is more for the audience because I said this to Dash already. But we were talking, and I kind of realized as we were piecing this doc together, as I was sitting and looking at the footage, that there's some perspectives missing. We've got a lot of BTS footage, but we don't really know so far in the story, why did this project happen? How did it happen? What were our feelings, our reactions, etc.? And so that's what we here to talk about. So where do we start? I guess Keys, right? Because Keys was the first thing, really.
Yeah.
So
I
Keys would be the
understand.
first track we recorded, actually, or collaborated on, really. Because before that, well, I guess we should start way back. So
No,
Days
I
the
have.
Emperor
Hmm.
introduced us.
Hmm.
But then we would later find out we have other connections
Facts. Facts.
throughout life because NYC is the biggest small place on the planet.
That's the truth.
You ain't lying.
Yeah. So, but Days the Emperor introduced us during COVID, virtually, like on the phone, was the first time we spoke. And it was like, hey, man, I'm cool with this new engineer, and he's killing it.
Okay.
We working a lot together. Hey, I'm gonna introduce y'all. And he introduced us, and then we developed our own rapport. You mixed The Return for me,
Hmm.
and that was our first time working together, and that went smashingly well, as they
That was
say.
where my mind went when when you said I was like, wait, what about okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually knew each other again virtually
Hmm.
for a while before we did The Return.
That was COVID.
Yeah, because we were introduced, I think, in 2020 at some point, and then in 2021 or late 2020 we started working together on The Return.
Gotcha.
Um
Historic times, man.
yes,
Historic
definitely.
times, man.
And at that time you and Days were cooking shit up all the
Exactly.
time.
Exactly.
Y'all were damn near roommates.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Every time I talk to
Hell yeah.
Days, just like, what's up, bro? Checking in. It was either he was on his way to go see Flip and
Hmm.
work on some shit, or yeah, man, I just woke up. I was at Flip's till 5 in the morning. You know what I'm
And he was
saying?
on his I
It was
forgot boy
crazy.
name. He was on his Lance Armstrong. You
He's
never
biking it. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah,
He's biking it
yeah.
all over the place. Absolutely.
Real New Yorker.
Absolutely. Facts. So yeah, which let's talk about that, right? You're from New York,
Absolutely.
but before we could start working together and meet physically, Flip vanished.
You vanished. Where did you
Yeah.
go?
He said he said I did the magic tricks and all that.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Smoke
Yeah.
bomb.
Yeah, exactly. Had to dip behind the curtain real fast.
Right.
But yeah, it's crazy how life is. There's a lot going on. So when you just like, all right, hold on, let me let me reset real fast. This is probably for the betterment of everybody.
Mhm.
And
Right.
yeah. So sometimes you gotta reel it in, call a timeout.
Facts.
Yeah.
So Flip moved to a faraway land.
Yes. Very,
And
very, very far. Yes.
yeah, so Flip moves and then we don't meet. We just have a virtual relationship and we're kicking it. And then that takes us to Keys. I had an idea to do a track and we spoke about it, and this was our first collab. And Flip was like, "All right, let me see what I got. Let me see what I could do." And then I remember you sent me the beat, which was originally called 7 p.m.
Right, right. Which is that's insane. But
We were on
that
the phone talking about this yesterday, and he
yeah.
was like, "What? That's what it was called?
Yeah,
You
because
for real?"
right now, if I went on the computer right now and I was looking for the beat, I would never think to type that in. I'd be like, all right, keys, like So
Right.
that's that's a whole nother thing. But the thing about keys, I remember when you gave me the idea, and I was like, all right, let me see what I could cook up. And I remember I had
Mhm.
the exact beat the way it is now. I remember I'm like, all right, let me just send this to you as a sample, see what you think about it.
Right.
And I don't think I added anything else to it. Like,
Nah, I remember we actually had like a mini debate about it because he was on some like,
yeah,
yo, this is like the bare bones.
right. I said
I
it's like a
feel like
skeleton.
I feel like it could use a couple more, right, a skeleton, that's the
Yeah.
term you use. He was like, I feel like it could use a couple more sounds. And I was like, no, it's fine like this.
Yeah, I
I'll
was like,
work
yo,
on it and I'll get
it's
back to you.
nothing there but keys. It's just a set of keys and some drums. Like,
And that's what it moved on to be.
it works for
Keys.
me.
So JD, you were already hearing the words. You were hearing you heard the beat and it already spoke to you at that point.
Yeah, because I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I just wanted to drop like a talk shit track. And
Okay.
so it was supposed to be almost like one of those Drake songs with the timestamps. Like that was kind of the idea.
Right.
It was like, all right, I think Certified Lover Boy had just come out, if I remember
Mhm.
correctly. And I was like, this 8 a.m. on Bridal Path shit is probably the weakest of all the timestamps. And niggas cannot stop talking about it. I need to get my I need to get my timestamp on too. And
Very good
then
timestamp artist, though, I must say. You know,
Drake,
yeah, I
absolutely.
gotta give
No,
him
he
that.
is the timestamp artist. And that's what was so disappointing
You
about
know,
that.
we don't have to go there. You know, the gentleman behind me has some timestamps as well. But yes, I understand.
Hove don't
He
really
doesn't
do
have many
timestamps.
of them. Yeah, yeah, he doesn't have
Yeah,
many
he
of
don't
them.
really. That's not really his thing. He always does like different. He'll name it something like a dear
But you are
summer.
probably right, though. You are
Hmm.
probably right. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah. So I knew what we were aiming to do. We kind of were. He already delivered what I was looking for because those. Although I didn't want to exactly copy Drake, the idea was to do something similar, and those beats are usually very simple. It's usually a very simple beat when he does the timestamp. The idea is he is the focus of the record, right? We know he's gonna go crazy lyrically, and sometimes the flows switch up and stuff like that. So that was kind of the idea,
Mhm.
and then it became keys like 12 hours later.
May I chime in though with one thing?
Please do, please
So,
do.
so in all honesty, I had no idea what this man was going for. I, I had no idea. Piano is my favorite instrument, so I said, all right, let me start here. That's how I start a lot of my beats. And then I was like, you know, I'm gonna put some drums on here. And then I just sent it
That
like,
was
yo,
it.
so what you think? And he was like, yo, I
Right.
think I got the
So from
track.
there,
He was like, yeah, I think I got the track. I was like, what?
Yeah. So I was just at work writing. And again, he sent it somewhere around 7 or 8 p.m. And when I got up for work at 7 a.m., I knew he'd be up already taking the kids to school and
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I think I'm done. Maybe like a few more lines. And he didn't respond to me.
Yeah, I was like, what?
He
I was
didn't
like, no.
respond to me. Instead, he called Days and was like, "Yo, your man is a monster. Like, I don't know how the hell he's done with this track already. He somehow finished it in less than 12 hours, and he was at work."
I can hear his response right now too. I can hear his
He said
response.
he told me,
Yo,
he
son,
told
that's
you.
JD, son. Yo,
That's
son.
exactly.
sounds like him.
exactly. That's exactly what he
I'll
said. He
tell
told me
you.
he was like, "Son, that's JD, son. That's
That's
But
JD."
facts.
Flip was
So,
like, I didn't even finish the beat yet.
Yeah, I was
right,
like, he
right.
never even got back to me on the beat. Like, he never told me what he
Yeah,
thought
because I was
about it.
like, nah, it's good. And that was actually our first conversation. It wasn't even the lyrics. It was just like, yo, I think this needs more. You don't think it needs more? And I was like, no, I don't think it needs anything. Just lyrics and a voice. And he was like,
No,
all right, son, let's see what you do. And I was like,
yeah.
yeah, we'll see what I do.
But if you really think about it, like, if I listen to it now, I don't know what I would have brought in anyway.
That's what I was saying. I was like, son, what do you need to add? There's nothing to add but the voice. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Like, right now, if I had to add something to it, I wouldn't. You get what I mean? I'd be there all day. Like, damn.
mm-hmm.
So I understand. No, that was a good call on your part. That was a good
Thank
call.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you. So we
that was a
had
good
keys
call.
and we put out keys. And at first there was no discussion of anything else. It was just like, we're just gonna put out keys and see what people think. And that's it. And there was no
So
talks of other collabs at all. Go ahead,
okay,
D.
so there was
Hmm.
no idea of this larger project. It was just let's see how things
No.
go. Let's work on this
Yeah.
one thing, and then whatever.
Yeah.
Nah.
I
He
just was
rap.
like,
He raps. I produced. That's all it really
That was
was.
that.
Because I was
That
working
was
with,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I was working with Days. And he was just like, yo, my man JD said he want to work with you. That was
Wow.
pretty
Yeah.
much that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
believe
So
I,
I
I was
was
I
like,
like,
believe
all right.
this is called chemistry. I'm just
Yeah. Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
when
And
things
so that
work,
was
they just work
yeah.
out, right?
Yeah, that's true.
right. And so that's kind of how it started. And then a couple months later, I was like, I think we should work together more. I might start working on some new stuff. And then this is where Flip fucked up the game. Flip was like, I got a website where I put beats up.
Facts.
Maybe you should check that out. And I was like, what? What do you mean? You got like he's like, yeah, it's like this website. Sometimes I sell beats, sometimes I don't, but I just throw them up there. It's
Yeah.
probably easier than me trying to figure out what beats to send you because I don't really know what you're looking for. And I was like, okay. And this what really fucked me up. Maybe I'm gonna be wrong about the number. You can correct me. But I went on the website and there was something like 200 beats on the shit.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah,
And so
it was a
I
little
was like a kid
ridiculous.
in a candy store at that point. I was just home,
Yeah.
alone in the zone, just like,
Listening,
okay,
listening to Flip's
It-
beats.
all right. I dead ass,
yeah.
I don't know where the notebook. If I remembered this before we hit record, I would have got the notebook. But in one of these notebooks, I dead ass had a list of all the beats that I liked, and it was like maybe this could be this kind of song. Like I was on some going to school taking note shit. And then I hit them and was like, well, some of them you could download just straight up. So some of them I downloaded, and other ones I was like, all right, I downloaded these beats, and I think I want this one too, but I can't download it. He's like, all right, I'll send it to you. And he was like, you gonna use all those beats? And I was like,
I definitely remember
if
that.
yeah, and I was just like, if I'm allowed to, like, I mean, if they're not spoken for, like, and so now a conversation started coming together of like, all right, but what you gonna do with 15 of my beats though? And then I was like, that's a good ass
Random beats
question.
too.
To you, random, right?
Yeah,
So talk about that.
to me they were random. I had beats up there that were like 3 years old. Like some of them. Like I've
Mm,
been telling people like, oh yeah, I got this link, but sometimes people are too cool, so they're like, all right, cool, but they want you to send it directly to them. Like, what difference does it make? But
right.
so once you tell somebody that, especially somebody like this guy, when you tell them like, yo, you could go in there, like here's the key, go in there,
Right.
if you get hungry or something, there's some food in the fridge or whatever, I'll be back,
I
whatever.
just
And
Tasmanian devil in there.
yeah, he's in there like.
He went and fixed himself a sandwich.
Right. He's in there like, okay, all right. Like,
Facts.
so I respected that. And that's when I was like, all right, this could be something. I was like, he's picking out beats that I don't even like. Like,
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah. I was
I
like,
remember
what
that.
does he see in that beat? I was like, what is
What was
going
the
on
beat?
here?
So the song that later would become He's Gone Mad. I remember when I told you, hey, I can't download this one. Can you send it to me? You was like, you want that beat?
I remember,
Why?
yeah, I remember.
You was like, and I said, what do you mean? Why? This shit is hot. He's like, no, it's trash. I think I should delete it from up there. I was like, what?
And listen, honesty is
No.
very important, man.
And he's like, you dead serious? I'll send it to you, but I don't know what you're gonna do with that because like I
I didn't
can't
hear
hear anybody on
I
it.
didn't
Right.
hear anything on it. I thought it was gonna be like a TV type of thing, like
Mm.
something that somebody put in the background of a commercial or something. I didn't know what he was gonna do. And
And
this
he
is
was
with
like, I
most of
mean,
the
I'll send
beats.
it.
This is with most of the beats, by the way.
That's
He's
hilarious.
send, he's sending me notes and verses, and I'm reading it like I have no idea what flow he's using. I was like, does this even rhyme? Because how you reading it and you like, wait, listen, it worked out though.
And so there's one of the things I like to do when I'm not in the studio with a producer, and that was a good thing you brought up. I
Yeah,
always feel like producers are impatient, right? I feel like in my experience anyway, once you tell a producer like, all right, I want this beat, right? Once you be like, all right, yeah, I want the Dashing D, they're like, all right, cool. And they expect you to send a song like the next day, like a complete recorded song. So because I know I'm not always gonna do that, and sometimes I'll write it, but I won't record it anytime soon, what I do to show producers, like, okay, I've been working. Here's what I've been doing.
Right.
I always
hmm
send them like a screenshot
like a
of
progress
my
report.
of my rhymes. Right,
hmm
exactly. So that's what I was doing. And he was like, nobody has ever sent me their rhymes. This is
Ever.
interesting. I definitely
Ever.
got to hear this whenever you record it. And then I was like, all right, well, I guess I got to start recording soon. And so I did. And then this one, it gets crazy for me anyway. I remember one day we were texting and I was like, yo, you still didn't send me. There was a beat I wanted him to edit. It actually didn't even make the project, but
Right.
there's a
Right.
beat I wanted him to edit. And I was like, yo, you didn't send me that edit. And once I started getting beats, you told me you got some more beats in the stash. He's like, oh, you know what? There's a couple of y'all I got to send beats to. I'm going to send out some beats. Just check your email. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
what? What does that even mean? He's like, nah, just check your email in like 2 minutes. And this nigga starts emailing 5, 6,
Sending
7
shit.
beats to like a group of us or some shit like, hey, if anybody wants this beat, just claim it. And now it's like you got to be the first to the snack. You know what I mean? Like it's like the carrot is dangling right there. It's like whoever gets it first is yours. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so fortunate that right now I'm like not at work. Cause I could sit there and deadass just wait for the email one by one. Be like, all right, let me listen. Okay. No, not that one. Let me listen. Okay, yeah, that one.
You definitely replied first.
Well, listen.
I can
Now let's talk
guarantee
about
that. I can guarantee that.
Because I had the phone in my hand and was hitting refresh on that motherfucker. I was like, refresh.
I remember that.
Refresh. Because he sent like 6 different emails, but I don't even know how many people were in the email. Like, you know how it shows you there's other people? It was other people, and that was each email was like, another beat. Let me know if y'all are digging it. And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
No,
I had them.
I need to hear these
Yeah.
right now.
That was around the time I learned that you could schedule emails. And I had forgot to send them. And I was like, all right. So I had them all ready to go. I was just adding your name to each one. That's hilarious. But I remember that.
And so 2 of the beats that came from that later would become Fool
Mm-hmm.
and Come Back Baby.
Come back, baby.
Now that's special. Yeah, that's a very
now
special.
he don't know.
Yeah.
He don't know. So we'll get to Come Back Baby in a
Okay.
minute. But he don't know. Dash loves that record.
That is a special.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. That's a special somebody.